Oh yeah, not included. Those aren't even mine. Those are included because I think you need them to go super fast. The airframe was built at the Glasair factory as a custom assist build, and it's flawless, I must say. I still drool over the welding and the rivets. I had my way with it, with the colors anyway. It's an 0375, built by Aerosport Power in Kamloops, Canada. It's a Titan engine based on the Lycoming 360. It's lighter than the Angle Valve 390, and I'm obsessed with keeping things light. My wingman urged me to go carbureted for the remote kind of flying we do routinely, and to keep it as simple as possible. It's never let us down. I've got the quick drain. I forget what brand, it's a Japanese brand. And there's the stats on the carburetor. It's the oil cooler. And I gave it its own exit air so it doesn't compete with the lower pressure here. It's not all old school though. It's got a metallic paint job, PMags for an ignition system, a lightweight starter, and that's a plain power alternator there. And an MT propeller. They call it an Ultra. The spark plugs are automotive on this thing. They've got adapters to go to the aviation, threads. In the interest of not burying important stuff and also for ergonomics, I put my and-air fuel selector up there like that, and but I still have the factory Glasair closeout if you're some kind of purist and you would prefer that. The wiring is all pretty much stock from Steiner, and it's got an EarthX battery. This has a little neat attachment with piano hinge, so you can pull that out and peel that back and drop the battery if you had to. I've never had to. Fuel, whatever it's called, transducer. I don't actually know how to say it, but I think it's Juhastra. The prop governor is back there on the back. I'm sure there's more stuff to say. Oh yeah, the PMags get cooled off with these little tubes there. Ram air, that's for the cabin heater. And PMags back there. They're pretty. I don't know a lot about them. I think they're magic. I went with a Garmin radio so that I could have a true 4-place headset. You can see it up there. I can go into detail on that maybe later. Skylights, which you don't ever really think about. The window's awesome, or the windshield is awesome. I love my quadrant. I think maybe some people think it's goofy, but I like the idea of being able to work all the controls all at once really quickly, and also this flap handle is right there, so you're just like, if you're coming in, it's gusty and whatnot, and you need to land short, boom, you're done. The cargo area is massive. That foam pad is just to protect the paint job on the floor. The seats are flush with the aft floor to maximize the headroom. I've even slept back there. I think I've had a dog and a passenger and some baggage once. I've hauled enough baggage for a 10-day trip, including another airplane's cargo, because they were flying in a lightweight airplane, LSA. I've also found out there's enough room between the front seats and the back cargo area to haul my daily food and backpack and tools and things. Oh, that black tube is for the lumbar support. It pumps up. I've got the front seat out because I want to show you. That's how you get to the autopilot, which is here. Hitch and roll. This is the roll right here. It's got extra pulley stacked on top that interacts with the main cable, and then this one ties directly into the pitch cable. Goes back to the elevator. There's two sumps that come directly down from the little header tanks, and this is the parking brake here. It's a Matco deal. I put high density plastic right on top of these tubes so that the fiberglass pans don't chafe it. You'll see a lot of red silicone. I like to use that, and then zip ties so they don't cause any damage. These are the headers right here. Tiny little things, and there's a closeout that goes over these two if you are so inclined. That's the lightweight seat there. Those are the closeouts for the header tanks. These are a kit so you can fold the wings. They tie into this right here, this little tab, and they help support the load. Those little tubes do while you peel the wing back. These are extra windows. These are the rear windows and the front window here because there's a fancier camera window there. Wheel paints, they're all ready to rock. They have the nut plates in them and everything. And tail spring, which I have never used. I went for the T3. Oh, and there's plenty of documentation of everything. Checklist from when it was built at the factory originally. And the original control sticks, I went for the Tolston. Some templates and things, and the brake pedal, rudder pedal dealies for the, I like these because they're lightweight, but to each his or her own. That is where we came from. Panamint Springs. And we're not sure where we're going. I suspect that most people watching this video have figured out that autopilot may actually be worth the extra 7 pounds. With its help, I was able to fly around 5,800 miles the first week of June. I'm not an expert on this kind of flying, but I have figured out how to make it follow a flight plan with multiple points. It'll turn to the next point after it's finished the last one. You can target an altitude and tell it what your vertical speed should be to get there. And you can steer it with a heading bug. The Dynon glass panel is the brain, and you can control everything through it. The autopilot, the ADS-B transponder, and the Garmin radio are all in a network. You actually don't even have to touch the radio if you don't want to. You can click on an airport and then send the frequency over to the radio. Or just go old school if you would rather. I kind of do a hybrid of both. The plane has 2 vents fed by NAC ducts that keep you cool. The heater's very effective too. It also has a heated pitot unit if you're into that sort of thing. The cargo area has a dome light that has a switch on both sides. It's got a HID landing light and LED nav strobes. The circuit breakers are the clicks-on push-pull kind. There are 4 fuel tanks that hold 50 gallons of 100 low lead. Once an inboard tank is low, you can flip the switch to transfer fuel from one of the outboard tanks. The Sportsman is actually great for traveling with your friends. I'm burning about 5.7 gallons here with my buddy in a Rans S6. That's a gallon more than he's burning in his Rotax, but with twice the useful load. And a little less turbulence. These stats are about the same for S7s and Super Cubs. An American Champion Scout is a wee bit faster, and I have to bump it up to about 7.5 gallons per hour when flying with him. My manifold pressure is about 19, although he does have 31-inch tires. People often ask about the cruise speed. I don't have fairings installed, and I have slightly larger tires. The true airspeed, while maxing out the manifold pressure to about 24 inches at 6,000 feet, is about 153 miles per hour. But wait, there's more. Extended heavy-duty landing gear that I didn't install. And most importantly, I've got matching tie downs. Oh, and this little eyelet deal.